what Meghan Markle's father said to the groom while recovering in hospital from a heart attack following the staged paparazzi photos scandal. Thomas Markle was in his hospital bed in the Chula Vista Medical Center, San Diego, recovering from a heart attack when his mobile phone rang. It was just 3 days before the royal wedding, and a familiar voice said to him, "If you had listened to me, this would never have happened." It was Prince Harry, the man who was about to become his son-in-law, and he was understandably furious, having learned Mr. Markle had cooperated with the paparazzi to stage photos of him apparently preparing for the royal wedding. Though they have never met, after being introduced by Meghan on the phone, Harry and Mr. Markle previously enjoyed a series of warm and chatty phone calls over a period of months. They also talked about what to do when news of the royal romance became public. "Harry told me that I should never go to the press. That it would end in tears. He said, 'They will eat you alive.' He was right." On Friday, May 11th, the Mail on Sunday informed Kensington Palace of the bombshell revelations about Mr. Markle we were to publish 2 days later. That Friday, Harry called Mr. Markle to ask if he had cooperated with the shots which showed him, among other things, supposedly being fitted for a wedding suit for the big day. Mr. Markle admits lying to his son-in-law to be, telling him, "No, I was being measured for a new hoodie." 3 days after our story was published on May 13th, Harry and Meghan called Mr. Markle again, though by then he was in hospital recovering from a heart attack. That was when the prince told him, "If you had listened to me, this would never have happened." Mr. Markle said he told Harry, "Maybe it would be better for you guys if I was dead. Then you could pretend to be sad." Then I hung up. In hindsight, he admits Prince Harry was absolutely right to criticize him for dealing with the paparazzi for money. The intense media spotlight trained on Meghan's romance, engagement and marriage to Harry brought chaos to his once quiet life of retirement in a hilltop home in Rosarito Beach, Mexico, near the U.S. border. And for now, retired Emmy Award-winning lighting director Mr. Markle is royally ed off. He is fed up of the constant lies written about him. He is fed up with his life being ruined. He is fed up with royal aides not offering him any help or guidance. He has been sold out by several friends and says his family, including his brother Fred, a retired bishop of an Eastern Orthodox Catholic church in Florida, have been vilified. They took a picture of his little church and put it beside a picture of the Queen's church. It was insulting and offensive. As he talks, it is clear he is an immensely proud man who has been wounded by some of the actions, or rather inaction, of palace aides. When news of Meghan's romance broke, he says he was given no advice whatsoever except not to talk to the press. "I was hung out to dry. I was being chased and harassed on a daily basis. I didn't know who to turn to. The palace, gave me no help at all. I felt utterly isolated." Kensington Palace and its army of advisors have been similarly accused of a communications disaster by commentators after news broke that Mr. Markle wouldn't be attending his daughter's wedding. Royal experts questioned why he was left to cope with the glare of the media spotlight, in contrast to the support given by the royals to Kate Middleton's family in the run-up to her wedding with Prince William in 2011. Critics said royal officials should have brought Mr. Markle under their wing to help him deal with and prepare for the wedding. But behind closed doors, there appears to have long-running rift between the Duchess of Sussex and her father. Since the wedding, Mr. Markle has been outspoken about the rift. A month after the wedding, in a breach of royal protocol, he told Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain he had discussed politics with Harry on the phone and claimed the prince was open to Brexit and urged him to give President Donald Trump a chance. Mr. Markle has also revealed he has not spoken to his daughter since the wedding and that he feels he had been cut off as a punishment for staging the fake paparazzi pictures. He claimed in a newspaper interview that his daughter looked terrified in her new role and that she wore a pained smile. And in another explosive interview with the Mail on Sunday last month, Mr. Markle said Princess Diana would have loathed the way he is being frozen out by the royal family. Palace aides are said to have held at least 3 top-level crisis meetings on how to handle the dysfunctional Markle family in PR terms. In person, Mr. Markle is a far cry from his media caricature, which he describes as the weirdo schlubby dad living in a shack in Mexico drinking beer and eating McDonald's. His interview with the Mail on Sunday is only the 3rd he has ever given to a newspaper, and he says it will be his last. He says many reports about him have been made up, spun around, and others are outright lies. He has lost almost 3 streets since his heart attack and insists, while he is happy for Meghan, he owes the circus that has come with her falling for a prince. His rift with Meghan began after his eldest daughter Samantha and son Tom Jr. from his first marriage to Roslyn made openly critical comments about Meghan. Samantha attacked her half-sister for failing to pay back her father thousands of dollars he spent on her private education and university fees, but Mr. Markle points out he had never asked, nor expected, to be repaid, as he felt it was his parental duty. Meghan asked me to tell Samantha to stop talking about her and then asked me to stop talking to Samantha. I have 2 daughters. I can't stop talking to one of them, he says with a shrug. No father should be asked to turn his back on their children. I love Meghan, but I also love Samantha. Mr. Markle is keen to erase the image built up by some sections of the media of him as a sad recluse. He says, I wish Harry and Meghan well, but this isn't going to make or break me. They will remember me when they have a child with my Markle nose. I have pictures of Meghan and my other kids all over my house in Mexico. My favorite picture of her is a headshot I did of her, in close-up, wearing a big hat with gloves pulled all the way up her arms. She's about 10. And she looks like a little duchess. Despite their disagreements, he insists, I love Harry, I love my daughter. I wish them all the love and best wishes for the future. But I am not sitting here crying. I'm not sitting here being self-pitying. I'm not cashing in on the royal family. I don't care about the royal family. My daughter is a duchess. I don't even know what that really means.